Hello Hammer Pattern subscribers and welcome to Kill Team Nightmare featuring the Drukhari Mandrakes from the shadowy realm of Aelindrach. Today I'll be going over how I painted the first 5 of the Mandrake kill team, specifically the specialist as well as the leader, the Night Fiend. So the Night Fiend, the Abyssal, the Chooser of the Flesh, the Dirge Maw, and the Shade Weaver. All of these Mandrake operatives have special abilities, unique abilities that all deal with psychological torture of your opponent and your opponent's kill team, as well as some neat powers in close combat and from shooting. Drukhari Mandrakes are specifically from one of the satellite realms in Kamara, specifically Aelindrach. It's a otherworldly, shadowy realm where the Mandrakes have begun to maybe mutate or adapt to this strange realm, but it's allowed them to tap into strange powers and weird eldritch abilities that normal Drukhari do not have access to. Being able to walk through shadows and conjure blasts of crackling soul fire. Thematically, Mandrakes are truly like nightmares of myth and legend. They hunt with unnatural ferocity. They can be hired for strange prices like your laughter or a favored childhood memory, and even their balefire is capable of not just killing you, but your loved ones, even from other sides of the galaxy. Truly, Mandrakes represent the darkest and most sinister aspects of the Drukhari. How I went going about painting these Mandrakes. I started off with a black base coat. I was going traditional rather than any slap chop method. I wanted to give these guys a high contrast look to them, so I went with the sort of heavy metal style. Starting off with the skin cloak, I used a combination of Rakarth flesh and Deepkin flesh to paint some layers, to initially tried to do some different sort of skin tones, but once I had the wash on, it all ended up looking the same. So the patchwork of various skin tones that I did actually didn't end up mattering. I then did the skin. Started with Incubi Darkness, which is one of my favorite paints to use, but it was like not mixed or was dried out, and it had a very much heavier blue. It's not quite as like green blue, it's much more blue saturated, but it ended up looking good, sort of a midnight color, so happy accidents. After that, I painted the hair, the bale blasts, as well as some of the details like the skulls and bones and little trinkets. I also used a very thin white paint to... I tried to do the whole capillary action, and it ended up not working super desirably for most of them. For the most part, I was doing quite a bit of cleanup, but filling in those runes with white paint to then add a glowing paint later. After that, I did some detailing on the skin, adding texture and cross hatches, highlights to muscles to break up the dark areas of the skin, trying to pick out as many details as I could without adding too much light, and adding a wash, Caribor Crimson, to the cloaks to make them look meaty and fleshy. I went over the stitch lines with Leviathan purple, a thinned down Leviathan purple, and added a little bit more texture back onto it by stippling on lighter, paler flesh tones on areas of the skin to give these kind of horrible flesh cloaks their signature look. For this project, I picked up some new fluorescent green paints. I used this Green Stuff fluorescent lime for the lightest parts of the Bale Blast. It looks radioactive, and I think it looks very good on the tabletop. And then I used another Green Stuff World, which was a candy green for the darker parts, sort of a jade green for the cool, quotation marks, cooler parts of the fire. And after that, it was picking out details, giving it some character, making sure that eyes and bones and that the sword was nicely detailed, and getting them nice and battle ready. So make sure to tune in for more Kill Team Nightmare Mandrakes, and we will be doing some Night Lords content soon, so stay tuned for that, where we will be doing all kinds of hobby and lore and some battle reports, so it should be fun. So come and follow along for Kill Team Nightmare, where the Drukhari Mandrakes face off against the Night Lords Nemesis Claw, fighting over the planet of Wystengradt, where the Night Lords started off as predators to the population, but would find themselves prey to the Drukhari. As always, thanks for tuning in. This has been Lane from Hammer Pattern, signing off.